Good morning, everybody. So we got a whole hour dedicated to some fantastic jewellery, and we're going to focus on techniques. At the moment, you can see the very expert and capable hands of Helen just heating up a little element, and we're going to be showcasing, say, throughout this hour, techniques making the most of your jewellery making. It is going to be a great hour. So we have got the PMC Studio basic firing kit. In the kit, you are getting the butane gas torch. You're also getting the firing block as well. And this is why you're going to want to add this to the stash, because it allows you a lot of scope and flexibility in making your jewellery. Helen, been a long time. We were saying we haven't actually worked together for, how long is it, about 2 years?
I think so, yes.
Wow.
I know. We did a good show a while ago.
Well, I'm looking forward, I'm really looking forward to this. Have to say, Helen's a real trooper because she lost her voice yesterday, and you're powering through. It's so hard to present with so we're gonna, if you ever need to break away and get some water.
I didn't think I'd be here today, but yes, anyway, we'll carry on.
Yeah. So anyone's just tuned in, we're going to be focusing on jewellery making. We're getting our torch and our firing block. Why would we want to heat up our jewellery?
So basically what we're using is we're using the precious metal clay, so the silver clay. Yeah. I'll just show an example here. Is basically, it's pure silver with some non-toxic organic binder and water turned into a clay-like material. And then basically what we're doing in we're heating it up with a torch, or you can use a kiln as well, but of course torch is much easier. You are removing the moisture and the binder, and you're creating something that's almost pure silver. So anybody who's allergic to something like sterling silver won't be allergic to this at all. There's just nothing in it at all.
Because you're getting that pure silver. And I remember from working with you in the past, you have such pedigree when it comes to jewellery making. I mean, your wealth of knowledge in your background too.
Yes, I think I was just saying that earlier. I think I've been doing this now 16 years.
16
I know,
years.
I know. You think, oh, I'll just get cracking with this.
You started when you were 10.
Oh, absolutely. But it is just such lovely material to work with because it never goes off. You can put it away in a cupboard. You can come back to it. You know, you're always wanting. You can never have enough jewellery to start with. You know, so much. I have hundreds of necklaces, and you know what? I've never sold a single piece. You know, because everybody goes,
you want to keep it.
Yeah, I want to keep it. You know,
it's the quality, and this is the thing, and the real USP. When you start working with the silver, you have got the most beautiful elements that you're going to be making. Say, having that foundation of the silver, you're starting from a great basis. Look at that. So silver clay is on your screen, and it is a very special product. $22.49. $22.49 for 2 packs, Helen.
Yeah, that's 12.
What?
So so that's more than that. I was going to bring my scales today to show you, actually, to weigh them, because that's probably only about 8 or 9 grams. So we're going to be working with the heart cutters today. So actually, if you work with it smartly and using your negative space, like for instance this one here, you know, you're probably only looking at about 3 or 4 grams at the most. So a little goes a long way if you work smart with it.
There's a very well-known jeweller, and they sell this sort of heart-shaped pendants, and you pay a fortune for it, and you could make your own.
And it's not even fine silver like what we're working with.
No, that's the key.
This is even better.
Okay, brilliant. So how do we get to, and we'll start our demo now, Helen, how do we get to, from the clay to the silver?
Okay, so, so I'll just get some out, so I'll just demo.
It's our fingerprint.
Yes, as I said, I love these little heart cutters that we're working with. So here are some of the examples that I've set to show you the versatility of these heart cutters. So you can...
I love that.
Yeah, so that's a fingerprint one we did in the last show, and that's we've got some inscribing tools on the show as well. So it shows you can just press the wet finger... the finger into the clay, into the wet clay, and then you can inscribe the name. So that's my daughter Catherine.
I love that idea. That's a really nice idea.
Yes, I think I've got some more samples out. So
there's lots, and we will be showing it to you actually throughout the hour. So the heart cutter's brand new today.
I love the heart cutters.
You use these all the time.
Yes. So
wait, you're getting all of those?
So you're getting 4, and I know in the pack they look a bit small, but you want to work small. So here, so what you can do is you can use that one for the outside, which I did here. And of course, what you can do if you want to make a pair of earrings is that you can turn it over, so you can make a left and a right just with one cutter.
Clever.
So which is so handy. Then you can either use a small cutter to cut out the centre of it, like I've done here.
Okay.
But then you can use that clay and superimpose it onto another bit.
Genius on matting and layering.
Yeah, so you can do that. So you can use these together, you can use these two together, you can use these and make little stud earrings. I've used these, for instance, and made dangly earrings. You can do lots and lots of things with it.
They're very stylised, beautiful hearts. They're never going to date.
No.
You're getting the complete set, so you're getting all four designed to give you, and you pointed out, and I think this is a really good point, working with that negative space, you're making the most out of your clay, your silver clay. Yeah. But it also, the cutout, then you can use it on another project too. Yeah. Could you make that as a little stud earring, just that centre?
Yes, you could do. Yeah, yeah, you could make a little stud earring. And then I put some confetti in, and the confetti as well, you can roll that simply into the clay. Right. So like, for instance, here, you know what those sweets are called? What are those?
Oh, I know the ones. Refreshers?
Yeah, they're like little, and then so I've just used that one in it. Other brands are available.
So you just pressed it in?
Yes, I just pressed it in, and the great thing about confetti is that you can just press it into the clay. It doesn't stick to the clay. So all of these you can use to make your own little patterns, which I thought was nice with Valentine's coming up, and around Christmas time you can do it with stars and snowflakes and other things as well. So yeah, it's the first time I've done it for Valentine's Day. Okay. So to start with the clay, you just need to use some release agent on your hands. Okay. So this is a release agent. It's just an olive oil based cream, because you've got to be really careful because you're going to mix that into the silver, and of course once you fire it you don't want toxic fumes. No impurities. So obviously don't use anything like what do you call it, that petroleum jelly based type things. So yes, so the clay, always disappointing when it comes out the packet. I know it doesn't look shiny or silver, and that's
as a product, it is very innovative.
I know, and you think, oh gosh, I'm paying all that money, and when it comes out the packet, it doesn't even look good, But
wait, just wait.
So I've just put a little bit on my hands. I've used the palms of my hands. You can see I don't wear any rings or things because I don't want to nick the silver. So I just use the palms of my hands. Just a quick roll to get it nice and smooth, and then my favourite texture mat that I've brought. If I can pick it up. This is the brass plate. So this is small flowers, and it's just a really great pattern, because what we said earlier about making things small. So I always say when you're starting out, make things small, because then if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. You're not wasting a lot of silver. And then you go through phases like, oh, I want to make big rings or make big pieces. And so this is just a really lovely, subtle texture that can work on any size piece. So even if you're just making a pair of small stud earrings and you want a bit of texture on the back, you can still use this texture mat.
Just pick this up, and just be clear for anyone who's tuned in. So you're telling me the clay that you're working with now, and you can mould it, easily manipulate it.
You can mould it, sculpt it, carve it.
This was made using the clay?
Yeah, yes,
and
absolutely.
If you look at that now, that is, it's
oh, you can bang it on the table.
Oh, sorry, Emily, I'm so sorry. You can hear that there. Look, there we go.
It really is metal. Yes, it is strang metal.
And it's the purity of the silver that you're working with.
Yes, so we've got the hallmarking card there, if you wanted to refer to that. So for hallmarking, so we're normally used to sterling silver, which is 925. That means it's 92.5% pure silver. Right. And we're working with 999. So really, it's almost 100% pure silver. Wow. There's just a remnant of the binder still left after the firing. That's why it's 999.
That's incredible.
So you can have any of these pieces hallmarked as 999. And in fact, if you want to sell your work, as you can see on the bottom of the mark, anything that's less than 7.78 grams of silver is exempt from hallmarking. So you can still advertise it and sell it as fine silver without having it hallmarked. So you can see the exemption weight there at the bottom.
If you were to go into a jeweller's and buy, say, with a purity of 999, silver there, a piece of jewellery this size, you'd pay some serious money for that.
Yes, yes.
I'm having a look at $31.99 for the clay. I mean, ask yourself the question. Go into a shop, see the silver that they've got there, and say to them that you want a purity of 999 and see what they offer you and the price as well.
Well, not only that, I think when you go into a shop, it does look mass-produced, and that's the beauty of the silver clay, is that it looks, you know, you want it to look handmade but not homemade. It's that sort of delicate balance. But every piece is individual, and even if you made the same piece twice, it will never look the same. You know, even if you're using a mould, it always moves slightly. So that's a nice thing about it.
Could you make rings with this?
Yes, there's some rings next to you as well there. So yeah, behind the card. No, on the other
the
side.
actual ring, sorry. Oh,
there you go.
What?
So,
are you kidding?
So there's all different rings and things.
It's got a bit of the Game of Thrones about it. I don't know if you've ever seen the series. Hey, these are cool.
I know.
Wow.
The one on the right was my attempt at making a man's ring, really. I sort of pushed it together, but I actually really quite liked it. It's a bit scraggy,
Which,
really.
this one?
Yes, yeah.
It might be. I've
no,
got large hands.
No, you'll find all the rings are my size.
Yeah, okay. But,
that was a really cool one. Yeah, we've got some really big ones on the counter in the minute. Yeah.
Love it. Okay.
So, right, we've got to go back to the demo, otherwise we forget, don't we?
Sorry.
Just digressing.
It was me chatting.
So, the brass plate, again, use the release agent on the brass plate. So, you can either roll it out onto the Teflon. I'm going to put a bit of texture onto this. And then we've got the spacers. Roll it, so you just put the spacers on here. Okay. So here we go, and I'm just going to roll it. So when you're rolling it in different directions, remember to move the spacers, and remember to put the spacers on the brass plate. Everybody always does it, puts it next to it, and wonder why the clay is a bit thin. Okay. If you've got rubber mats at home, which probably many people have, or stamps, you can also use just a bit of a texture. I'll just demonstrate that on here.
Your rubber stamps,
or embossed paper. I'm sure that any crafter's cupboard is full of goodies that you can use, buttons, moulds, and actually, this was a good trick. What was my mistake?
What was your mistake?
You didn't spot it. That's good. I forgot to put release agent on it, but hey.
It came off
it worked all right. So you want a really lovely crisp texture, as you can see here. And if I just peel it off, you can see there's just a lovely hint of texture on the back. You know, you want the front of the back of your piece to be as good as the front, because you know that's the first thing somebody does is when you made it, isn't it? They flip it over and go, "Oh, did you make this yourself?" So
yes, I did.
Yeah. So here we go. So I'm just going to use the cutter. So you press it down, give it a bit of a wiggle, and lift it. And then you remove the excess clay. Now the excess clay, you can put it back into the pouch. The pouches are all resealable. Or what I do is I just use the lid of my Badger Balm lid, and I just keep it underneath there. And then if you're working to it, you can go back and forth. And the next thing I always do, I don't want to spend my time sanding. I'm thinking, oh gosh, I'm wasting the silver. So I just use a little bit of water and a damp paintbrush, and it really neatens the edges up. Now you can then decide, actually I quite like this pattern, or you can just take a cutter one size down, and you can just take the centre out. So really, when you're looking at those 5 gram packs, you can actually make a pendant and earrings out of them.
Wow.
So you always roll the biggest piece first, because you get the rolling distance. And as you say, this would make a really lovely little pendant, and then you can make a little pair of stud earrings to go with it. So it's quite subtle, and they sort of match, and you can coordinate the pattern. So that's one thing to do.
Okay.
So I'll just show you.
And you really can. I do understand, and Helen's saying when you take the clay out of the pouch, you kind of look at it and think, okay. I'm cautious of saying this, but you look at it and think you're a little bit underwhelmed, but Helen's actually demonstrating how far the clay will go. And remember, what you're working with effectively is 99.9% purity when it comes to the silver. So you are going to be getting 2 bags. We've got details for 2 bags on your screen, $22.49, or you've got the larger bag details at the bottom of your screen. But effectively, once it's done, once you've worked with it, then you'll see how special this is.
Yeah, so great. So I'm just doing the confetti. So the confetti is great. You probably have some at home anyway. But you can get all these lovely little textures with them. And then you can make different patterns. So just for demonstration purposes, I'll put this on here. But you can just tap it in. And the good thing is that you can get it out again. And because the clay just stays flexible, especially this clay that we're using today, the Flex has a really long working time. So you can do that. So
it's important as a jewellery maker.
So anyway, you've got the idea there.
Okay,
Okay, we'll put that away. So the thing to do then is to leave your piece to dry.
Yeah.
And so these are the ones I made yesterday. And the thing is, once they're dry, as you can see, so I stuck these two together, and with the flex, I just use a little bit of water. So you can see a bit of trace of the water. So I went round it with just water, stuck the top piece on.
Okay.
And then the next thing to do is to use a little bit of sandpaper. Now, you don't need to use much.
Okay.
So the thing to do is really get it sanded. So I thought today we'd have a look at the sanding. So, and hopefully, because the camera works so good here, we rely on Hochanda, of course, is that when you sand, you should see a change of the colour. Now, I'm just trying to see if I
you can see it comes chalky.
White. Yeah, so it comes... Sorry, I'm not doing very well here, am I? Poor cameraman.
No, okay.
So you can see it comes in. So the more you sand, the more you refined before firing, the better your piece will polish up.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and also if you're doing this...
And would you just focus on the edges? Because obviously you don't want to sand
doing
out
the edges?
detail.
No, you don't want to sand. And also, I've done the little sand on top, so you can just sand this bit here. And we're saying about how pure the silver is. If I get the burnisher...
Yeah.
Now, also, all this sanding, nothing is ever wasted. So all these bits that you sand off, put them in a little pot. So I've got a little paste pot here where I put all my sandings in, and you just add some water, and then you just turn it back into paste, which you can then use to join bits together, to paint leaves. Again, we've got some more on the counter to show you. So nothing is wasted ever.
Clever.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So we do that.
Yep.
And we sand it. And to show you how pure it is. So, for instance, and that's also, you know, we opened up with the firing saying the firing is really, really important, is that, look, if I use this burnisher, I can polish this up, you see? And this will be completely silver.
Wow.
See? Now, we know this is not fired.
It's a magic trick.
Because the clay is already 95% pure silver in its clay state.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
You can see it to the naked eye as well.
Yeah, so you can see that. So that's why if you go to Hochanda, I think on YouTube, there's all of the videos there as well on firing. Yeah. So when you heat the piece up, keep it to that pale orange colour that we saw at the beginning of the show and hold it for a minimum of 2 minutes. And you can fire PMC as many times as you want. But you see, that just shows how pure it is.
So you're telling me, going back to the hallmarking for silver, we're working at 90, is it 99.9?
Yeah.
Whereas traditionally sterling silver, what would that be?
92.5%. Because you have the alloys in it. So when someone is allergic to sterling silver, you know, some people say their ears go funny colours. It's because you're allergic really to the copper in it, it's the alloys in it. And there's none of that in the PMC at all.
And that's what separates it. I kind of picked up on the fact, Helen, you were talking about its ability to customise. So you're making something that's truly unique, but then what you have at the end as well is absolutely first rate. When it comes to purity, the fact that you can get it then hallmarked, stamped at 99.9% purity, you know it's the good stuff. Okay.
Yes, and it's
So anyone who's a bit worried about the firing, we've got the option with the torch, and anyone can do that.
Yeah, anyone can do that.
You don't need an expensive kiln or anything like that.
No, you don't. So basically, items the size and thickness of a 50p piece can all be torch fired. So all the things that we do in the show, you can torch fire those.
Amazing.
Yeah. And all the shows are on the Hochanda YouTube channel as well. So you can always go back to them and just feel confident with it, really. Yeah. So basically, I've made this piece, I've sanded it, and then the next thing to do is how you're going to hang it. Okay. So we always have our lovely little drill and our rubber block. So you can mark things out. So if you're not quite sure, you can use pencil on it. So we did that in the last show when we did the inscribing, where we inscribed names. So you can write on it with pencil. That will just burn off. If not, you can sand it off during the meantime. And so you can work out where you're going to put your hole, and then you literally just twist it. And no pressure on this at all.
And you keep those filings out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You keep every bit of it. Even if you're using the water, you have from your paintbrush, you just drain the water, use it. See, but not that you have many filings. But yes, so do that. And again, that was the great thing. Oh, this is mine. The top's missing on this one, but on the demo one, the one will have the top on it, and you get also all the files in it as well. Yeah. So you have all the drill bits, so you can do earrings, pendants, you can do all your filing. And as long as you use it on the dry clay, they will last a lifetime. They will last you forever. Details on your screen if you do want to go for the PMC Studio hand drill and filing set. For $22.49, if this is something you really want to explore, it's a great investment. There, 571, your item number. Yep, okay. So great. So do that one on there. Excellent. Now, would you like to continue? Would you like me to have a recap? What can I do for you? I don't mind. Shall we go down the counter and have maybe look at some other things? I think it's important because we've got a lot to show you. So we're just going to go down the counter. I tell you what, have a look at this. So we just had a look at your file in there. So your drill and file set, $22.49 your price, $549, $571. We've got the essential kit in the mix too. So this is for use with the clay, and we were watching Helen working with this. You're getting your mat, you're getting your Teflon sheets in there, your shaper, your balm, the balm that Helen was using, and your sandpaper. $19.95 is your price there. You're a 698-447 your item number. We've also got the creative kit for you. Just going to bring details up onto your screen. So for the creative kit, you're getting the PMC Studios creative kit, texture brass plate. Once again, we saw Helen using this, and so if you're looking at anything thinking, well, I need to get some of that, we've got it for you. We bring you everything, your texture mat, your spacer, your roller set, and your PMC mat. $24.99 your price there, $113,631. Also the Fireproof Gems special, because important aspect that they are fireproof, $9.99, great value, $224,496 your item number there. What I find, and it has been way too long since we worked together, Helen, I am enjoying the show because it's something a little bit different, but what you're able to do is take your jewellery making to the next level, because everything you're going to be working with is coming from that foundation of the quality of the silver. Yes. I mean, such purity, but you need the right tools for the job. This is something where don't try and fudge it, see what you've got, get the right tools for the job. Yeah, and they last forever. And as you can see, I don't like tools with plastic handles really, so mine, you know, the nice wooden tools, they last forever, enjoy them, you know, they don't take up much space, you can go back to them, and none of them are really that expensive, you know, but it does help to have the right tools. You know, you see people sometimes trying to drill a hole with a toothpick, you're never going to get a nice clean hole. You know, trying to inscribe with something else, you know, once you've got these tools, you find you can do lots of other things with them. So here we've got the inscribing set. You're getting a fine silver ball, $14.99 your price there, $776,188. How do we use our set? Because you've got different size ball tools here. So the finest one you use for engraving, so engraving names, letters. The larger ones are really nice, so you can texture things with it as well. Or what you can do is sometimes if you're making a more complicated piece or you're adding things together, you can roll little tiny balls of clay, and then you can make little dimples with the ball stylus tools, which is really nice, because then you can highlight that again with the liver of sulphur gel that we've used before, so you can get that contrast. Yeah, so it's really nice. What I would suggest, and if you're investing in anything, then find the videos, PMC Studio videos on YouTube. You're saying part of the Hochando YouTube, and have a look, because I know you're giving great tutorials and showing how to make the most of everything. $14.99 your price there, $776,188 your item number. We flash the details. Now you're using this, you were saying the end was missing. I can't live without that, no. And so again, why try and, you need, if you're going to be making fine jewellery, you want to have that professional finish. So don't try and force the hole with a toothpick. If you want to get a nice, crisp, clean hole, you're able to do that. But also the filing set, I would imagine, is so useful, Helen. Yeah, the filing set is really good. And later on, you can also do syringe work. So you've got the pointy files, so you can really get into. So for instance, that heart where I took the cutout at the middle, you can file that with the pointy ones as well. So that's really handy. And then there's also a burr. So later on, if you wanted to do, say you wanted to do the stone setting, you've got those gemstones, you can drill a little hole. So, and these are all diamond tipped. You can drill a little hole, and then you can just drop the little gemstone in it, so you can get a beautiful flush stone setting. So again, it just, you know, there's so many things you can do with that. What would you do if that's your actual file then? There's your file. You've got your different size drills. So you've got your different drills, and then you've got the different files. And they are
Look, you can see the diamond.
Yeah, they're proper diamond cut. They're made for us, and also it's a nice looking tool. You know, I do like nice looking tools.
They do look great. They're exceptionally usable, and that's the thing. They're tools that are built to last. And I have to say, everything that Helen's brought, and if you have ever bought anything from PMC Studios in the past, you'll know, absolutely first rate. Absolutely first rate.
Yes.
So details on your screen there. $22.49 your price. Considering you're getting diamond tipped files in there, you're getting all the drills that you need.
Yeah.
Really
and a great thing also, which, as you can see, that mine I left the top at home. The top comes off. So you can actually keep all your drill bits inside the barrel, because that's the usual thing, is that you lose all the drill bits. Yeah. And that's great. So they just stay in there.
Perfect. Perfect. Looks good, works great, and it's such a good price. $22.49 is your price there. Your item number is 459571. Right, we're moving on to our gas torch and firing block. I'm so glad it comes with the firing block, because that's something you don't want to mess around with.
No, so many people think, I'll do a shortcut. I've got an old tile or a brick at home, an old tile or a brick. So the number of people that drill holes in, burnt holes in their kitchen table is quite a few. So this brick will last you forever and ever. Again, it's safe, and it's just a very simple torch to just to get you going, really, if you just want to give it a try. Yeah. Brilliant.
And there is a freedom price on there as well. So $17.49. Freedom price, though, £15.74. Sorry to grab you there to pull you in. We have to be close to the shop.
Okay.
Well, you didn't see it. I'll sort of Helen. Okay, now, item number there is 137208. Great price. Look, and also, I'd use this as well. Now, you never cross-contaminate, but I would use this to do creme brulee. Have you ever done that? Top of creme brulee?
No, we can do soldering with it. Okay. But, you know, obviously it's just a starter torch. Yeah. But it's got an ignition on it. It's got a control on it. Just use normal butane gas. I can show you in a minute how to just fill it up. So it's very simple to use. And then maybe, you know, later on, if you're going to do more, you probably want to progress to a larger professional torch. It's also on the website.
Really good. You can everything we're showing here, you can use this for.
Yeah, to just get you up and running, you know.
All right, we're going on to the special stuff now. The flex clay. So anyone who has just tuned in, what makes this so special, Hal?
There's no other silver clay on the market than PMC Flex. So PMC Flex is great because, as I said, it stays flexible. So what tends to happen with the older types of clays, when you roll it out, it sort of dries around the edges and things, and you've got a couple of goes, and then it all becomes a dry and crumbly. With Flex, you know, you've got quite a long working time with it. It's extremely forgiving. You can torch fire it, you can kiln fire it, you can use it with glass, ceramics, all sorts of other things. And it's just a really good all-round clay. It's also one of the lowest shrinkage clays, so it shrinks 10%.
Well, we're just seeing that there. So wet, it's 5.6, and when it dries, 5 grams. So not a lot of shrinkage there at all, which is important.
Yeah. So I actually tend to work to actual size. I don't try and, you know, apart from making rings, I don't actually calculate for the shrinkage.
Okay. Well, now that's interesting. So when you're all making it, that is a sign of the quality of the clay, so you don't have to worry about making a project and then suddenly it doesn't fit because it's shrunk too much.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, details are on your screen. So just to be clear, we're getting both of these for $22.49.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, so it's a great thing because what you can do is you can open one packet of clay, and of course they are resealable. Yeah. And then if you think, oh, I want to make something else, then you can open the second packet of clay. But it doesn't force you to open a large pack and then think, oh, what am I going to make? You know, so you really make what you want to do.
How much could you make with one bag, would you say?
I think you can make a pair of earrings with that. Yeah, a pair of earrings or a little pendant. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. Details on your screen there, 969340. That's for you, and it's such an innovative product, considering you're able to work with clay, but the purity of it, even in its clay state, it's 95% silver. When you heat it, it comes up to 99.9%. And just showing you, and to put that into context, because I have to admit, the first time I worked with Helen, I was oblivious. Helen was saying, she showed the chart that sterling silver, if you go to your local jeweler, if you see it stamped as sterling silver, the percentage is 92%. What you're getting is 99%. Anyone with allergies, absolutely fine as well.
Yeah, absolutely. No one's ever been known to be allergic in the more than 20 years that I've been working with it, so no one anyway.
Brilliant. We're going on to our heart-shaped cutters. They're brand new today, so not seen these before. work perfectly with the clay and give you so it's a nice design. Let me just... It's
a lovely design, and also what's really smart about the curved hearter is that a curved heart takes far less clay than a round heart. So it really goes further. And also the little tiny one, you can also use that to make a shaped hole, for instance. If you start making, say you're making a larger pendant, then that makes a really fabulous little hole, which is just an interesting thing to do with it.
So you've got the different sizes, so the perfect way to frame, also each one designed to work, nest inside each other is what I'm looking for.
And they're all made in the UK by hand, so you can see these are not Chinese cheap cutters, so therefore you can see there's no blobs of solder down the side, so when you cut you get a nice clean cut. That makes a huge difference. Really they are made twice actually. They're made on a jig first of all by an engineer, and then they are put together and soldered. So it's a two-part process to make these cutters. And you can see that quality. Yeah, they're really precision cutters. Yeah. I kind of find the theme, if I pop this back, the theme of the show is quality. Yes, we do that. I don't want to say that, I don't want to sound too romantic about it, but in fact, we're working with silver, so 99% purity silver in the form of our clay. The cutters, the tools, everything that Helen's bringing you and PMC Studio brings is absolutely first rate. And you want, if you're making fine jewellery, you need fine tools. You need something, and also you want to be able to use them again. I'm not really into disposable things, you know. I say buy once, buy something that you need, and you can always add to it. But I think now we're becoming more conscious about recycling, reusing, and the great thing about PMC, it's a hobby that you can have throughout your life, you know. You know, even if you've got arthritis in your hands, you've got lots of retired silversmiths who've switched to PMC because they can still make silver jewellery, you know, even if your hands aren't that great. So I'm showing you more cutters now. So we've got different style. These are your daisies. Going to bring up details. Brand new today. Great shapes. Beautiful made. Saving £4, so really, really good price. £12.50, you're getting both these fantastic cutters, and think about the possibilities, how you'd be using those. 844-905, your item number. That is incredible. Where is that, Emily? Oh, it's here. Oh, it's here. Now, actually, that's a good point, the camera. Yeah, so basically what you do there is you can actually take those daisy cutters, put them on the back of a measuring spoon that everybody's got in their kitchen. Of course, put a little bit of badger balm on. Yeah. And you can curve it, so you put it on. I'll show you everyone. Yes, you show it because you're... So you can see here, and what Helen was just alluding to, then we turn it around. So you dry it on that, and then you can layer it. So here's 2 layers of daisies on top of each other. And you can do the same with the other one. Is this your ring size? Funnily enough, yes. Could we see it on? Yes. I'd love to see that on. Yes, yes. Imagine making statement pieces like this. It's a perfect size. Wow. And I've made some earrings to match. Incredible. It's a great, isn't it? As I said, you know, when I said earlier, you go through these phases of making things big. So yeah, this is my, don't know if you can see the turtle in the rock pool with the gemstones. It's got little gemstones in it. Helen, they are exquisite. They're original. They're different. And the fact is, you're going to be able to make this. This is what you could be working up towards. Have a look at that as a ring, as a pendant. There's so much flexibility and scope. Yeah, and this is a leaf, actually, a leaf. And I know. Let me just show you. Yeah. These are all incredible. And actually, on the back of that, you see, I've used the brass texture plate, like we did. Yeah. So you can have a pattern on the back of that ring. As well, which is exactly the same as the small flowers that we used. Yeah. I'm blown away, Helen. I'm absolutely blown away. They are exquisite. That's why they're all lovely. Okay, look, brand new cutters, details on your screen. Take advantage of the £4 saving. £12.50 is your price. Made in the UK. The quality is there. Helen wouldn't give it to you unless it was first rate. 844-905, your item number. Now, in the checkout process here at Hochanda, whether you're online or if you give us a call, you'll be offered some other things that you might want to pop into your basket that would work really well with your purchase. Here, we've got, now you wouldn't be able to buy these normally, so they're offered as effectively a perfect partner. You've got your, that's your cutter, so you've got the butterfly cutter, and we've also got the plate as well, your brass plate, so you can add these to the order. We're not going to show you the details on your screen because it's something that you'll be able to add to your order. That is lovely, so imagine getting all that embossed detail. It looks like something you'd find in an old manor house. It's stunning. £12.50 is your price. 844-905 for your daisy cutters, but you will see additional items that you might want to put into your basket. Let's jump onto our website and have a little look.
So you can see now there are lots of goodies on there. You've heard Helen say a couple of times about the Badger Balm. If you do want to get that Badger Balm, have a look. There's the PMC Studio Silver Clay Essential Kit. So in the kit, you are getting the balm, you're getting the mat, the Teflon sheets, the shaper, the brush, and the sandpaper. That is a real go-to. And look at this if you're a Freedom member. Value for money. When you break down all those individual components, I think that is a fantastic purchase. This, in my view, and doing the shows, and I'm so glad I've actually got an opportunity to hang out with Helen today. I saw on the schedule we're working together and I was really looking forward to it because it's something a bit different and you're learning a skill and it's something you are going to grow with. You want to develop your skills, get the right tools. Don't try and force it because it makes life so much harder. But also, if you're working with fine silver, you want to have that professional finish. What would you like to show us next, Helen?
Right, so we can do, what I might do is just do a little piece. And you know, we had looked at the gemstones earlier. I have some gemstones with me. So I can just quickly show people how to set the gemstones. And we've got some time today. We're doing well, actually.
Okay. So you're saying with the balm, I see you working with it. And this is important because don't use, if you're just thinking like, you know, petroleum jelly.
Yeah, Vaseline, that's what I was trying to say earlier.
Don't use that.
No.
Only because it's obviously petroleum based. So when you heat it up, it's going to be toxic. Yeah,
it's going to be toxic. And also, you know, you're mixing it into the clay. So what happens basically during the firing is that the silver particles fuse together. So it's like a honeycomb structure. Now you don't want, you know, something that's going to make it more brittle, really.
Yeah. With the spacers, so is that the ideal optimum width that you want to be working with your jewellery for firing? Yeah,
so basically a general rule is that you want your piece to be 1 millimetre thick plus the depth of the texture on the front and the top of your piece. So so that's why having the roller and spacers is just a really easy way that you can quickly roll the clay out. You're not touching it, you're not handling it, you're not drying it out.
Perfect.
And then again, we also have these on the website, which is the 999 stamp.
Okay. Oh no, this is... See, I'd want to get this as well, because you're effectively able to hallmark your own jewellery, adding that value to it.
Yeah, it is legal. I know some people say, oh, let me see, this clay's gone a bit dry, but it's just for demonstration purposes.
Okay.
Now, let me just clean this up. So again, you can just use a little bit of water, use it like an eraser. You can get it really clean. You don't need to put anything on it.
So you're about to say, like, legally you're able to do it because it is... 99%.
Yeah, because really hallmarking is to do with trading standards.
Right.
So you're not trying to pass it off as something that it isn't. Let me just see if I can get it in. If you've done it on a fired piece, you can also hammer it in. I'm just trying to see. I've put too much water on this. Hang on.
Okay.
Let me just get this out.
It shows how easy it is to work with. Now, if you do want the brass embossing plate, the spacer, the roller, we've got details. No, we haven't. We've swapped the details. Sorry, we've got the hole punch there. What's it? The hallmarking.
Yeah, the hallmarking punch. Here we go.
But they're the details if you do want the roller and everything else. So that what we're working with at the moment.
So as you can see, it comes up as 999. So you can get a really nice 999. So again, so if you're making a piece, you can use the inscribing set earlier and you can put a date in it or a name or something. If you're making something for a birthday or a present, or, you know, you can put that in, you can put your 999 in. All the pieces you're going to be making are less than 7.78 grams. But as you can see, you can get the 999 in it, which is quite nice, really.
Well, I think that's important,
it's
especially if you are working with it. And I'm just looking to naked eye. You can see that quite clearly.
Yeah, you can see that quite clearly, and it becomes a really lovely plump hallmark. So, yeah, just to show you that.
Excellent.
And right, so for the gemstones, just use some tweezers. Now we looked at the burr, so you can actually make a little hole with the burr. Yeah. So yeah, if you're setting a stone, I'll take a bright pink one because hopefully that'll be easier to see. And I'm just going to hold this up. So what you're doing if you're setting a stone, and I just use the back of my paintbrush for lots of things actually.
And we have got the Fireproof Gems.
Yeah, you got Fireproof Gems, which are tested.
10 gems?
Yeah, 10, all different shapes and colours and sizes. So as you can see, I've set this stone in here. Maybe you're better at showing. So you can see the top of the stone.
Yeah.
or the table of the stone is level with the clay.
Right.
The clay is going to shrink 10%, so you want to make sure that the clay, the stone doesn't pop out at the top. So it's as simple as that. It's literally just pressing it into the wet clay. Okay. So again, or you can also, of course, if you're rolling it out thinner, you can cut one out with the. So I'm such a messy worker.
With the cutters. With
the cutters, and then on another piece you could use that. So if my base piece was thinner, I could put this on. Again, I just use a bit of water on that.
Okay, smoothing it out.
So if I've got a very big gemstone, of course I don't want to roll the clay out really, really thick to accommodate it. Yeah. Then, so for instance, I want to put a really big gemstone in, like here. I can just use the little heart.
He's nice and
to get the height. Yeah. So actually, what I can do even better, if I had a little straw, is I can just cut the centre out.
Oh, and lay it in,
and push it in. So again, and don't worry if you get any of the clay on the stone at this point, because once it's dry, it will just rub off. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about it at all.
Brilliant. And the real beauty of the stones, if you are purchasing the stones on the show, is the fact that they are fireproof, so you can use them with your heaters. Don't worry that there is a bit of clay on there, because when you're firing the process, it will clean up and look great. Yeah, so you just do that dry, you can push that in, and so that by using, again, as I said, these heart cutters are great. You can use that to set a larger stone without, again, wasting any of the silver. Think of the possibilities. Being able to personalise, being able to hallmark your own jewellery that you've made at home. It is 100% legal because you're not lying about it. Brilliant, thank you. Okay. So you know we fired that piece at the beginning of the show.
Should we just polish that up now?
Yeah, I was going to say, how hard is it then to get the clay? Because we're looking at the clay, and some people at home thinking, really? So it's going to suddenly turn into well, the silver that we're familiar with.
Yes, so here's the piece that I fired earlier. Yep. Now, we didn't show that. It's basically when I fired it, I don't leave it on the brick to cool, because then I've burnt my fingers so many times touching it, seeing if it's cooled down. So the thing to do is literally just pop it into some water. It will sizzle, and you're quenching it, and quenching it will also strengthen and harden the metal. So don't take that chance.
Effectively.
Yes, as long as you're not got any gemstones in it, if it's just clay on its own, then you just pop it into some water, and then you know you're not going to do your fingers.
If we have got gemstones, not
then
into water.
No, you have to let them cool, because that will shock the gemstones and they will craze, so they will just crack. Okay. And again, back on the gemstones in the pack that you get, you can fire them as many times as you want. So if you start firing, you panic or the doorbell rings, stop, you can start again. So you're totally safe.
You've got so much knowledge on it. I'm trying to soak it up.
Right, so that's your job. Do you want to do some polishing?
Yeah, I do.
So here's some polishing. So because we're using just a brass brush, I use a little bit of water with it. Okay. And then here we go. So it's silver, it's naturally white, because that's the uneven textured surface that it is.
Am I going circular or back?
Any way you like. Okay. And so basically it's an uneven texture. So our brain is telling us that it's white. So there's no residue here. People think, oh, I've got to polish off the white. No, there's no residue on it. It's just an uneven textured surface. So it's really an optical illusion.
Oh, I see. That's interesting. I'm just doing half, so then we can see the contrast and the difference on there. So it just gives it a little brush like that. And that gives it a matte finish. So that's all you've... Sorry, there we go. So you can just see where I've just polished that up, and suddenly the silver comes to life. So that white is an optical illusion. Yeah. And it's just gone a little bit black because of the rubber block. But obviously, once you use a little bit of silver polish on that or wash it, then they'll come off. Wow. And then the next step really is to use our little agate burnishes, which I love. Okay. And then, I'll keep you working there. Sorry, let me just... you got to do the whole job properly, you know. Yeah. Never leave a job half done. That's my motto. Okay. This is, in my view, to be able to make your own silver jewellery is incredible. Now, you can get the block, the brush. We've got details on the screen, on your screen, and your polishing kit. So... And as you can see, this block, the number of holes in it, I've probably had this block at least 10 years. Again, you know, all my stuff probably looks a bit ropey, but, you know, it's because of, it just lasts forever, you know. Okay, well, that's a good sign. Happy with that? Yeah, I'm happy. Okay.
Yes, yep, yeah, that's
Brilliant.
good. Right, so the next step is to use the burnisher.
Okay.
So again, the burnisher, it's a bit like the colouring in movement. So as you can see, you get it a
comes
bit
in the
shiny.
polishing kit too. Oh wow.
Yeah, I love this agate. So an agate is, so you know, you can get cheap metal burnishers, but
So
actually, it's an agate. It's a natural agate gemstone. So maybe
so that's a gemstone. Okay.
yeah, an agate is harder than metal, but it's just a really lovely tool to work with. And again, lasts forever as long as you don't drop it on the floor.
Yeah.
And
you just allow it. Oh, wow.
yeah, and if you've got a slight scratch in it, because the hard thing, when you're starting out, you're not quite sure how much finishing you need to do.
Here. Have a look at this, because I was just, let me just lift that up so you can see.
So always do the
what Helen
sides
was
of your
doing.
pieces, yeah.
Just how it intensifies.
Difference,
But
yeah.
you can work on the sides, as you're saying, there as well.
Yes, yeah, that's fair.
This is, that's it. I mean, it's having the right tools for the right job.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
I'll hand that back to you.
Yeah,
we are getting busy for our polishing kit. If you would like to purchase that, details on your screen, $17.49. This is one show, and look, I'm like you at home. If I feel I've got something at home that can kind of do it, and I might think, okay, I'll get it home, I'll have a go. On this occasion, please invest in the right tools for the job, only because what you're working with, your source material, the clay, it is precious. It's 99% silver. So the quality of that, considering if you go to the shop and see something hallmarked as sterling silver, that's 92%, which is great, but 99% you don't have to worry about any impurities, no allergies there. Have the right tools for the right job, because you're working with a precious material, and I think you want to get that professional finish. Okay.
Right, so what else shall we do?
What would you like to show?
I'm just trying
Does
to...
it, and people watching, tuning in, might be watching you for the first time, Helen, because I know traditionally your shows, you do a lot of shows on Tuesday.
Yes,
why we never
true.
see each other. I don't work on Tuesday.
I
But
see.
just I know you've done this a million times, but your background, because listening to you and how you're saying the terms you're using, you've got so much depth of knowledge. So what brought you to jewellery making?
Went to start, oh gosh, it's probably about more than 20 years ago. You know what, I gave up work, I had 3 small children. I thought, you know what, I'm going to do something I really enjoyed. And I started making beaded jewellery, sort of using semi-precious stones and pearls. I'd always been a sort of crafter, you know, done everything really. And I found that I couldn't get the clasps and beads and things that I really wanted. And I heard about silver clay, and that's when I started learning. And I went and I did some training in America, and really sort of got started. And then I got approached by Mitsubishi. They were looking for someone to be the distributor for the UK and Ireland. And I thought, oh, that's fun. I'll do that for a couple of years.
And massive
I know,
company.
I know. They really were great. They came over to the UK. They met me, and 16 years later, I'm still doing this. But as I said, you can't get bored of it, because you can make so many different things with it.
Genuinely love it.
I love it, and I love the people that do it as well. You know, it's a lovely community out there.
Speaking of which, I've got to tell you, please follow PMC Studios on Instagram. I follow them. It's well worth doing, because you post loads of pictures of your makes on there.
I try, I try and do as many as possible.
And I'm sure you'd love people to tag you in, so if you make
that'd be lovely. And also to see what people make, you know. I do this show, and it'd be lovely to say to people, you know what, I got those cutters, I made something, and don't be shy, you know. We've all had to start somewhere, and it's great. And you know, you all feel embarrassed about, you know, thinking, oh, I see all the imperfections in my work, you know. But
other people won't. Have a look. We've got some beautiful samples on here just to get those creative juices bubbling. So have a look at all of those fantastic pieces of jewellery that we've got on the show. The rings, the pendants, they are spectacular, and this is just an idea. Because ultimately you get to make something that's personal to you. Do you have a design that you like? Are you going to use any of the cutters? Now, we've got brand new cutters today. We have got the heart cutters. We've also got the daisy cutters as well. Have a look at those. The rings that we saw, actually, Chloe, could you do me a favour and grab the rings? Sorry. I just thought those were spectacular. So we've got to see these. Imagine making, and this shows you where you can go with make. Come in, Chloe. There we go. Give everyone a wave.
Yeah, and they all.
Chloe. There we go. Okay. have a look at these, because I would imagine, have you ever worn these out yet? Have you worn these out?
I do. They're like what I call a Friday night ring, isn't it? You'll be absolutely safe down the pub in those.
You wish.
But yes.
Any unwanted advances, you're safe.
Yeah.
But these are incredible. Do you find wearing these, Helen, are these a talking point? Will someone come up to you and say, where did you get that ring? And you're like, I made it.
Yeah, I do like that. Well, it's like this, and I tend to use them as demo pieces. The thing is, we've become a bit complacent about them. So this one, I tend to use it a lot for the liver of sulphur demos, because I can show the people before and after. And what I've done here, so the liver of sulphur gel that makes it black, that we've used also for the writing, if you heat it up again, it always goes back to natural silver. So this is a demonstration where I've just heated it all up. You can burn all the liver of sulphur gel off, and I go, you know what, I want it shiny today, so I want it shiny. And that's where I've used it with a little bit of 22 karat gold in the middle of that one.
Absolutely stunning. So we've got the cutters on the show. If you want to make your own daisies, if you want to make, we've got details for daisy cutters. Take advantage of the savings, by the way.
I love those.
It's a special price at the moment. I can see why you like those. Saving £4, £12.50 is your price right there. I have to be honest, been a really busy busy across the board. Let me show you some of the most popular items. So the clay obviously is flying. Now, where have you ever seen anything like this? It is so innovative. You're getting 2 packs here for $22.49. That is 99.9% silver. That's if you wanted to hallmark it, the quality of the clay. 969340 your item number there, so no impurities. We also have a bigger pack, which, oh, I'd be tempted. Actually, yeah, that would be my choice. I'd be going for the bigger pack. $31.99, 807 823 your item number there. We've also got the essentials kit, and it's something that Helen and I were discussing on the show today. Get the right tools for the job. So 698447, you're getting the PMC Studios Silver Clay Essential Kit. Everything that you're seeing there, like the Badger Balm, all those. Helen's used everything there. The sandpaper, she's used everything on the show today. We also have the creative kit in here too. So you're getting the roller, you're getting the spacers, you're getting the embossing mat, that brass plate in there too. 113631 your item number. We've got the Hallmarking punch, which is a lovely addition. Because ultimately, if you're making a piece of jewellery, exquisite fine jewellery with 99% purity, you want to hallmark that. $19.99 your price, $546,199 your item number. Last step, we have the polishing kit, which we're going to bring to. Now, a lot of you are going for this. Now, I say, you're getting the brush, you're getting the block in there, you're getting the tool, the burnisher. Now, that's with agate, so it's actually using a gem to, and it's a special. We'll discuss that with Helen in a moment, but 813073 item number there. Can we just talk about this, Helen? Because someone might look at that, and I understand on TV, you're not getting to touch it. You might think, oh, it's just a plastic tip. Yeah,
it does look, yes, I was just thinking that too. No, it's not, it's an agate. And you know what people have, often you get a starter kit, and to keep the price down, you know, you get a metal burnisher, and then people come along and I only use agate in my classes ever. Okay. And they say, oh wow, this has just changed your life, you know, and it's just a really nice tool. Also, if you've got a tiny scratch in your piece, you can burnish that out with this, and you can get into all the, yeah, it's just one of these tools. It is. It's like the hand drill. It's my favourite hand drill and an agate burnisher. I couldn't do without. No.
Hand drill now. As a piece of kit, the hand drill, very, very clever, because I have to say you've got all the different drill bits, but you're also getting the files in there as well, and they are diamond-tipped files. So $22.49, you're getting 5 drills and 5 files there. Sorry, 4 files. 459571 your item number. Had a question from Susan. Thank you, Susan. Can you enamel or paint the silver pieces if you wanted?
Yes, the piece that we looked at earlier at the next end of the table there with the pink on it. Yeah, that's pink enamel. That's enamelled. Ah. So that actually shows the little gemstones that we've used, the fireproof gemstones, and the enamel. There it is on screen. So that's enamelled as well.
So just showing perfect illustration.
Yeah, so the lovely thing with the enamelling is you can just enamel straight onto the PMC. Yeah. Anybody who's done enamelling before is used to using a fondant base normally, but PMC is so versatile, you can just put the enamel straight onto it. Yeah.
Fantastic.
But enamelling is more something that's probably, you need a small kiln for an enamelling kiln.
Okay.
But next to you, while you're there, there's also the little butterflies that I made. So they're actually, you know, the butterfly cutter we looked at?
Oh, yes. No, here.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So they're the actual butterflies. I just made a series because they were test pieces for the London Assay Office for Hallmarking. So you can see they've tested their laser equipment on the little hallmarks. But it just shows that the London Assay Office does believe this is all pure silver, so this is their testing for their equipment, but it just shows you what the actual size is.
No, wait, that's a really big point.
Oh,
they were
is it?
testing. Well, they were testing their equipment just because they knew that this was obviously the purity of this, so they're making sure their equipment was calibrated.
Yes, just so we know what it looks like exactly and how the hallmarks come up on the PMC.
That's cool. That is really, really cool. Now remember, the actual cutter for the butterfly, that will come up as a perfect partner when you're checking out. Now, we got really busy for our gas torch. You're getting the block as well.
Oh,
How long have we got? I
can show you the torch.
Yeah, can we just see filling the torch?
So filling the torch, I know it's a really good point, because when I started out and I got my starter kit, not being a smoker, I had no idea about lighter fuel and where you buy it and how you use it. So this is the torch that's on the website that, as you can see, much in use. It comes with a base like all torches do, but I tend to keep it on. Right. And then it's got a hole all the way through. Now again, you know, when I open these things, you know, they come with so many attachments, Lord knows what they're all for. But the good thing is you don't need to change it to fill your torch. Brilliant. So you literally just press it down. Oh, mine's full. And then you can see...
You're just squeezing it down.
You're just pressing it down slightly. Yeah. And as you can feel, the torch base gets cold.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
So that's it, and then it's filled up. Yeah, so yeah, you don't need to change it. And then once it's full, it just bubbles over. And I probably fill my torch only a couple of times a year. It's literally, it goes such a long way. The smaller torch, you probably need to fire it to fill it up a bit more. Okay. But it's as simple as that.
So with the torch, with the block, now the torch does come with a firing block so you can work safely, you're not going to damage anything. You've got the details on your screen there, and there's a freedom price. I'm not surprised it's busy, $15.74. You can fire things to the thickness of a 50p piece. 137208, your item number there. Helen, it's been a pleasure. I hope it's not going to be another 2 years before we get to work together again.
I hope not.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
I really have enjoyed it. And I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Please make sure to follow PMC Studios on Facebook and on Instagram. It is well worth it. If you make anything you're proud of, I know, Helen, you'd love to see pictures.
I'd love to see pictures. Do share them. You know,
yes.
I know I'm so.
Well, you would. You love it. It's the education. It's sharing it. Part of a community.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your company. If you do want to catch up on the show, you can do it via Rewind, and hopefully we'll see Helen soon.